Yo, what's good people? Welcome to another episode of Raven 101. Today we're going to be talking about Oki. So it's taken me such a long time to kind of put this video together. A lot of planning has gone into this video just because Raven's Oki doesn't really act the same, because 124 has been kind of killed at the war as G-Clef because it was, 114 in Tekken 7. But G-Clef is still great in this game, of course, but I do feel like the options are just very, very limited. And actually, I feel like there's a bug where you can just fly away from the wall. So we're going to discuss that further on in the video. But today, we're going to be talking about Okizeme. Do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe. Like it will help with the algorithm. Commenting will also help with the algorithm. And subscribing will let me know you enjoy the content. Let's get into it. Okay, so first of all, we're just going to tackle, mid-screen Oki. And I'm going to cover some kind of sequences as well. It's not really Oki, but it's kind of, what I do after while standing 2, for example, because we're +8 right on hit. So what do I do after stuff like while standing 2, stuff like up forward 4 on hit? They do give advantageous situations on hit. So I'm gonna kind of describe my thought process, because a knockdown situation would be Oki, but stuff like while standing 2 on hit would not be classed as Oki because they're not getting knocked down. So, but they still do have to guess. So I guess in that regard, you can kind of consider it a little bit of Oki just because they do have to guess, because it's so plus on hit. So let's get straight into it. All right, we're going to look at while standing 2 and up forward 4. So those are kind of the moves that I would say give advantageous frames. So while standing 2 is +8 on hit. It's also safe on block. So if I do, as you can see, it's -8 on block, but also +8 on hit. So if you do this on hit, there's nothing they can do about a down back 2 or a 3-3 mid check. There's nothing they can do, even system mechanics wise. So they don't have the frames to do heat burst, they don't have the frames to do rage art, they also don't have the frames to do power crush. So this is a safe way to keep the pressure, keep your plus frames after while standing 2. So that's while standing 2 covered. Let's look at up forward 4. Now as you can see, up forward 4 forces the opponent to tech roll or to do something, perform a grounded technique. So I like to use this time to literally just crouch dash up and mix. See what I mean? Like, they have to guess here. They have to guess. It's really sick. And then you have the whole mind games if they block it. Are you going to finish it? Stuff like that. Now, regarding hit confirming this move is not purely hit confirmable. Like raw hit confirm, definitely not. You can twitch confirm it, which means, if I spot them ducking beforehand, or if I spot them trying to press, or if I spot them sidestepping, then yes, I can hit confirm it, but that would be known as twitch confirmed. But regarding raw hit confirming it is really, really difficult. It's really, really difficult. It does have a hit confirm window. Like you can see it hit. That's why you can twitch confirm it. But it's like, yeah, raw hit confirming it is really, really difficult. But that's up forward 4. Now on hit, it does, give really, really good Oki. Even on cancel. See what I mean? So you can cancel up forward 4-4 with back, and you can still dash up in back turn for Oki. You can make them guess. See what I mean? So yeah, up forward 4 is really, really good as, crouch dash mid. It just doesn't do that much damage, I suppose. But it is a good way to kind of throw your opponent off if they keep ducking, for example. But yeah, that's all forward 4. Now let's look at if I launch, what can I do regarding Oki when I launch? My go-to is forward 2-3, cells on 4, but I'm going to show you why and why it's so silly. It's mainly to do with forward 2-3 and it's spiking. And on tech roll, let me show you what happens on tech roll. So I'm going to launch. So on tech roll, you see it has that pause and then they can tech roll. They can't just tech roll straight away, which is what we're going to use to kind of set up the Oki. And then also what's going to happen when we set them to back roll is they're going to hold back and then they're going to block the low. So those are the two situations that's going to happen. I'm going to show you. See, that slide was -10. So they can't even punish that with a while standing 4. Now, actually, that slide can be -9 based on the active frame. So that slide can be -9 at tip range. Now, obviously, -10 is still kind of tip range, but not absolutely tip range. But yeah, that slide is -10, -9, or actually -11, which means they can't launch it because normally if they block the slide, it's launch. So naturally, people are going to see the slide and try to launch it or try to do at least, you know, I don't know, 14 frame, 13 frame punish, but they actually won't be able to punish it. You can actually set up a -12 slide as well after this combo. As you can see, -12. So let's show you that again. It is a different combo, but it is an easier, more consistent combo to do. All you need to do is just dash up and do 4-2-3 souls on 4. See what I mean? So -12. Now, obviously, naturally, again, people are going to try and launch this slide when they block it because it is launch on block, obviously, but because of active frames, you can't launch this. Now, let's look what happens when they tech roll. This is where the interesting part comes because, you know, they can just back roll and block it, right? But they can't launch it. So that's the whole point. And you can bait either a launch punish or you can bait a punish, like, for example, Laws while standing 1-2. For example, if he does that, you can duck and launch. So you can bait a punish and punish their failed punish attempt, if that makes sense. So let's look at what happens when they tech roll now. And this is where it gets interesting. Guaranteed. So they actually can't. If they mash tech roll, like mash 1, 2, 3, or 4 on the ground, that is guaranteed. So realistically, you always want to get up and try and block it. Now, if they don't block it, what about if they get up and don't block it, if they get hit? You're going to be very plus. So you can kind of just crouch dash in for another mix, which is what I like to do when Raven gets hit. Super plus. So he was +7 there. That gives me enough frames to kind of do what I want, really. I mean, you can, some people might challenge it, but you're so plus that I don't think people will actually press. I've never had anyone press after that before. So that is 4-2-3 souls on 4. If they tech roll, it's guaranteed because this move hits grounded. And then if they get up and block it, it's pretty much safe because it can be -9, it can be -10, which they can't punish with a while standing 4, or it can be -11, which obviously, yes, they can punish with the while standing 4, but people will see this slide and try to launch it because it is launch on block. So it's only natural for people to try and launch it or do a bigger punish, which by that point won't work and you can punish their punish attempt. So that's 4-2-3 into souls on 4. For me personally, 4-2-3 is the best option because look, even if you don't want to do souls on 4, another option, for example, and mix here, that's an option. For example, I'm gonna do the easier combo as well. Mix. See what I mean? You can just mix. And the different options would be, I mean, it depends how much conditioning you really have on the opponent because, you know, now you can start going for really fun stuff. Like, so for example, I like to kind of stutter my soul zone pressure. So I'll go into soul zone because that's a stutter. So did you catch that? So I was in full crouch. I crouch dashed, well, crouch stepped. And actually in crouch, you can press 3+4. So it's, you know, in crouch, down 3+4. So you can do soul zone in crouch. So that's how I'm doing crouch dash or crouch step soul zone. So that's how I'm stuttering soul zone. So when I'm doing soul zone, it's full crouch. Then I'm doing crouch dash into soul zone in crouch. If that makes sense, I hope you caught that. So I'm going to do it again. So that's how I kind of stutter soul zone pressure. You know what I mean? And that also kind of, it breaks people's defense when they see soul zone because like if they're looking out for full crouch sweep, for example, in this situation, and I do soul zone, it's like they've broken their defense now and they have to think about something else. So it's just insane. And then similarly, you don't even have to do anything from soul zone, but you do have to have conditioning for this. But as I was saying, you don't have to do stuff from soul zone. You can bait a rage art. You know how many rage arts I've baited doing this? It's insane. So at the end of rounds, I'll be like, and I just do nothing. Bait a rage art, and then obviously punish it with down forward 4 for free. It's just insane. I'm going to show you one more. So let's look at like heat. So when you do heat bursting combos, what's the best option to do? So let's now look at heat. So a good combo to get into heat from the optimal one is sidestep left, forward 4-3 in heat burst. this will always hit. So a common option is back one, obviously into soul zone, into full crouch. So now you can mix your opponent. So a sequence would be something like this. After heat burst, dash up, back one, while standing 3-2. So that's a sequence you can do. Obviously you are going to be in full crouch, so you can do, you know, full crouch sweep, which will give you heat back. When you're in heat, for example, turn. Yeah. So when you're in heat, doing hell sweep gives you heat back because it's a clone attack and it's on hit. So all the clone attacks on hit give you heat back. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So you really want to keep landing heat attacks. Yeah, you want to keep landing heat attacks to, you know, keep building back up that heat so you don't run out. So while standing 3-2 will give you heat back. Check out the combo. But yeah, so that's a, you know, a setup to get into heat and mix, because this is really strong in heat while standing 3-2 because it's safe. See, 4-2-3 again is just crazy. I prefer 4-2-3 over back one. I just think it I mean, first of all, it does more damage. It does more damage. And yeah, I don't know, I just prefer it. It's mainly the damage, to be honest, because this does more damage and it gives you the same situations into Soul Zone. So 4-2-3 is good if you want to kind of do Soul Zone 4, because it will push them further back and it will allow you to use more of the moves plus frames, and that's why it's safer when you push them back that far. So this move is +2, sorry, on hit normally. Now the further you are away, the more plus you are. So that's +8. You can actually be up to +9 here, as you saw there. See how it says attack startle frames 24, and so the attack startle frames are 17 to 24. So if it says 24, that means the move hit on the last active frame. So that's how you can calculate frames and stuff like that. Before we move on to the wall, I want to discuss his back turn slide and how to make that safe. There are a few setups, and also there's a setup for safe Soul Zone 4 as well. So this is the combo. Remember I was saying 4-2-3 is crazy. So this is the combo. -10. Now, something very, very, very interesting is that if you hit this, now, if you do really, really early 4-4-3 like this, they actually can't block this Soul Zone 4. If they hold back and get up and block it, they can't block the Soul Zone 4. So, look at this. You see, the game just doesn't allow you to block it. I don't know if that's a bug or if it's intended. Now, if I slightly delay it, I can force the Raven to block it at -10. See, so that is also crazy. Now, sometimes people might say, okay, yeah, it's trading mode. You know, the block all thing might be bugged. So let's actually show you. I'm going to record Raven to do it to me, and then we're going to see if I can block it. Okay. See, I'm holding down back and I couldn't block it. I'll show you again. Now, if I tech roll here, the slide's guaranteed anyway. See, I have to, like, literally, I have to hold back and block it. But if the 4-4-3 is really early, the Raven can't block it. Like, you physically can't block this. Like, I'm holding back and then I'm holding down back and I can't block it. It's very cheap. What about making his back turn slide safe from regular launchers? We're going to discuss that now. So, good one I like to do is really, really simple. It's just 4-1 at the end of combos and then time the slide. Literally, that is it. So you see here, I didn't time it. You have to kind of delay it a little bit. See what I mean? So that's minus 11. And that's crazy. See, that's max spacing. So that's minus 11. So as you can see, you know, even with Soul Zone 4 and with back turn slide, it's really the active frames that make the difference here. And you really have to play around with, you know, what moves put you in back turn. So obviously 4-1 does put you in back turn. Down back 2 does put you in back turn. That's another one I used. But it doesn't really work in this game because the combos are different. So when Master Raven would do, you know, down 4-2-3 screw, this combo, I would do like 4-4-3 down back 2 and then wait for them to tech roll and then, you know, do the slide. And that would be minus 11. And people try and launch it and, you know, at that point it's not launched because of the active frames. Like if I do it from here, it's too far. If I do it from here, you see, minus 11, perfectly spaced. Minus 18. Minus 11, perfectly spaced again. So you can kind of get what I'm saying. The further you are, obviously, the more telegraphed it is, but the safer it is. And on Oki situations, there's no distance to judge it. It's like you have to just get up and block it. There's no like, oh, I can just react or I can see it coming. You know, if I do slide from this range, people are going to see it coming. The catch is, though, in our favor, is that it's safer. So they won't be able to launch it if you space it correctly. The last one I'm going to show you is back 4-4. So this will hit tech rolls because it hits grounded. And this will also hit if they hold, you know, if they hold back and try to block it, this will also hit them. So do you wake up backwards? So you're going to see, I'm not going to do it so you can see how he's going to get up. He's going to hold back and try and block because he's set to block all. It hits. So in this situation now, I'm still in back turn, as you can see, because I did back turn forward 4. So I can either choose to mix again with back turn forward 4 or back turn 4. It's pure guess. They honestly do have to guess here. So show you again. Guess or back turn 4. And then similarly with tech roll, if they tech roll right, let's do tech roll right this time. Show you what happens with tech roll right. Same thing applies. It's gonna hit. This back turn forward 4 is just gonna hit. So regardless, they have to guess. So let's do tech roll left now. They have to guess. They have to guess. Because after you do back turn forward 4, you dash. And then you do whatever you want to do. You can do, you know, after back turn forward 4, you can do back turn 4. You can do another back turn forward 4. You can do back turn forward 2-4-2 if you're in heat, because that's going to be safe. So he has a lot of options, especially if back turn 4 hits at the wall and you enter heat. It's now insane because this is safe. Like, you know, QCF 1-2 is safe. Everything is safe regarding clones, you know? So that's a really, really good option at the wall is... Oh, and let me show you how to kind of put this in practice from wall carry, because sometimes wall carry combos don't work the same as direct wall splat combos. So I'm going to show you some different wall carry options into these Oki options. So you have to just do back 4-4. Into setup. So that's the way you would set that up. And then if you wanted to do back turn 3+4, then jab back 4-4 would be your combo. I'm going to show you. Jab back 4-4. Yeah, they just have to guess. Take the time to realign with just a small micro dash in back turn. Practice this movement because this is going to save you in Oki. If you feel like stuff's not working, it's because you're not back turn dashing. I promise you. So if you practice using this, you know, back turn movement stuff, like I use this all the time. Like for example, I use this all the time. Back turn back 2, back dash away and whiff punish. If I spot a you know, a whiffed attack like a jab or a retaliation mid, I will whiff punish. And because this is 8 frames, it makes it easier to whiff punish from, you know, this on block. So that's also another tip I would give you. But yeah, that was Oki, not in a nutshell, because this video is very, very long. But, you know, I hope I helped you with, you know, just kind of get you kickstarted with Oki, because I feel like Raven's Oki can be very difficult to understand first and foremost, understand and to put into practice, especially because of like these wall bugs and stuff. They just go flying. Like, you know, if I wall splat, for example, and I do 1, 2, 4, and they tech roll, he would have been gone from the wall. So it's so difficult to put into practice, especially if you're not comfortable with, you know, back turn movement as well. So I would say, you know, really get comfortable with back turn movement, because it will really help you, especially in Oki situations. And then you can start going for advanced techniques like, you know, back turn, back 2 on block into whiff punishment. That will, you know, add another layer of kind of your offense and defense. But again, Oki, not in a nutshell. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.